Are we streaming again? Already?
Ich glaube, du hast jetzt schon 6 Aufrufe hat die Präsentation schon. Das sind alle aus Twitter, die dann.
Okay, no, this should be working now. Let's create a new link. Let's share a new link. If you go to
Oh yeah, I
YouTube,
see that.
if you go to YouTube, Mats, I'm gonna leave the room again. But if you go to YouTube, you should be able to see. Can you see it?
I see.
Excellent. I'm gonna leave the room again. All right. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zar Antonov, President of the United Republic of Obscurium. Once again, I'm decided to do my second presentation here as well, because why not? So I'm just trying to see if there's a better way to set this up. Apparently there isn't, but hold on. That looks about right. So this is a presentation I gave at the Micro Euro Summit 2024, and it builds up on my presentation from the year prior, which I believe I also gave at a Digimicro Summit, I think maybe 2023. So this is medals, uniforms, and flags. The one before that was just on flags, and this is the basics about those. And it fits in quite nicely with the last presentation we had, because obviously George talked about niche topics and such, and he does a lot of medals. I do a lot of flags, so this is kind of both. But this isn't about how to make medals. We might have that at the next Micro Euro Summit. This is about how to arrange your medals. So here we have, I believe this is Marshal Shukov? I don't know. We have a Soviet general here, and he's going to demonstrate one method of arranging medals. So all of these methods are what I looked up and put together. This is not scientific in any way. This is just how I view things. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but these are my recommendations. So we have this first arrangement, which is to arrange your medals in order of precedence, which precedence, not precedence, which I call the standard method. So basically, you put the highest honor at the top left, and then you go down from there, and you put your medals on top, as you can see, right here, and below that you put your breast stars. You don't put them right next to the medals. And if you have a necklet, obviously you put that around your neck. Very simple, but it can be difficult to do that over time, because whenever you get a new medal, you have to rearrange all your medals, or at least parts of them, because you have to arrange them according to the highest honors. So might be a bit difficult to rearrange your medals with that. And then we have the second method, which is in order of receipt, which is the Zar Antonov method. This one basically is a chronological method. You put the oldest medals at top left, and then you put the other medals in order of receipt. After that, and so the newest medals would be at the bottom. However, you still put the breast stars underneath the medals, because I ran out of space here. I had to put one of my breast stars on the the left, the left side from the way you're looking at it. So this would be the Zar Antonov method. This is nice because you don't have to constantly rearrange your medals. You just put the newest one at the bottom, at the end of the medal trail, so to say. And it does still have an order to it. And then we're going to go over to how to actually attach the medals physically, after seeing these two methods of attachment, of arranging your medals. So this first method is manual attachment. Medals obviously have a little brooch at the back, a little needle, and you can use that to attach the medal to your uniform. So this is the easiest way to do it. You can see it here in the picture. Christopher of Mimas and we're wearing our medals, and we just directly attach them to our suits. It's very easy, and it works well if you have a couple of medals, 1, 2, 3, and you want to quickly attach them to something. There you go. But then, let me continue. What happens if you get more medals? Well, if you, for up to 8 medals, I recommend the cardboard attachment. I don't know if anybody else ever did this, ever came up with this before. I came up with it on my own, but I might not have been the first to get this idea. But basically what you do is you cut out a piece of hard cardboard, you attach the medals to the cardboard plate, and then you slip it into the breast pocket of your suit or uniform. And as you can see, this works really well because the medals are already attached to the cardboard. So you just, if you want to wash your uniform, you just take it, the cardboard out of the pocket and wash the uniform. And then you want to put it into a different uniform, you slip it in there. The downside to this, of course, is if you need to have a uniform with large enough pockets, and if you get more than 8 medals, you have to find a cardboard. It doesn't really work with cardboard anymore because then it gets the cardboard starts bending down because the weight of the medals is too much. And you can see in this picture down here, the way the medals are attached, just basically put the needles through the cardboard. But other options are of course also valid. And this method is something a lot of micronationalists use, like Grant Travis, or I believe also Kevin Ball of Molossia. This is mounting 1. Metal ribbons are permanently mounted on a metal bar. You can see a picture of the back of a metal bar and the front of a metal bar right there. Grant Travis is wearing. Basically, you remove the needle from the metal and you open up the ribbon and you put it through a metal bar, which is made for that. You can see it in one of the in this picture up here, how the metal goes into the bar. Obviously, this is going to kind of destroy your metal, so this works well if you have multiple sets of the same metal, or are only going to wear these medals in that arrangement ever. If you ever want to decide to take your medal out of that afterwards, I don't know how you can fix that. You probably can, but it's a lot of effort. So this only works if you know this arrangement of medals is what I'm going to be using forever, and I want this to be a permanent, my permanent medal bar. If you want to take off the medals often or rearrange them, this is not a good option. But that's what we have mounting 2 for. Mounting 2 also uses a metal bar, but as you can see here, I put Velcro on it. You can also put a magnet on it, but I never figured that out. I just use Velcro. Then you put Velcro on the metal bar, and you put the other Velcro side on the metal, and boom, you attach it to the metal bar. And then you can just you have the metal bar, which gives stability to the whole thing, and means you can actually have your medals on a bar. So if you don't want to rearrangement, you can just take the bar off only, and then you can put the medals aside, and then you could put the bar on the uniform, which is far easier than putting every single individual medal on the uniform. But you can also rearrange the medals if you ever need to. And as I said there, it also works if you often take off medals for single display. For example, you go somewhere wearing a suit and it doesn't suit the suit to wear a lot of medals, so you only want to wear a single medal, so you just take the single medal off the brush bar and put it on your suit to wear that evening or something. Unfortunately, after some time, even the a metal bar can get too crowded. I mean, they only have so much space, so there is the last option, which apparently I didn't list here. I didn't list it here because I was the living example of that. Well, we can go back to the living example, or the photographic example right here. I am not, I just attached all of my medals to my uniform because there are just too many for bars. At this point, if you have that many medals and you want to wear all of them, you're on your own. Then I cannot help you anymore because I can't even help myself. Well, I mean, you can still wear them all, but it's just a lot of work because you're gonna need a lot of bars, and that's gonna cost you a lot of money and stuff. Uh, and it also doesn't look as good with this many medals. So in the end, this is what I'm doing now. But you can also do that. Um, I do it, so obviously it works somehow. And now we get to the uniform part. So which uniforms should you actually use for your micronation? To some this might be a no-brainer. Oh, you just take uniform of your macronation and put your patch on it and your flag on it and your medals on it, and you're fine. But it might not be that easy. So we Grant U. Travis at MicroCon 2019 told me, because I was wearing, as you can see in the left picture here, I was wearing this NVA repurposed NVA uniform. He told me this is the starter uniform, because NVA uniforms from East Germany, they're very easy to get because East Germany no longer exists and the NVA no longer exists either. So these uniforms are very easy to get and they're very cheap as well. So a lot of micronationalists apparently get these uniforms and use them. And it's a good starter uniform and it looks very good too. But because a lot of people use these, and because of the historical connotations, it might not be a good long-term uniform. So and even from the beginning, you might start thinking about more professional uniforms. So a good source for dress uniforms is eBay and Etsy and other such sites. And for outdoor and army for field uniforms, you can use outdoor and army shops, because a lot of outdoor and army shops have uniforms like the one you see on the right here, which aren't actually proper uniforms. It's uniform-like clothing. It's just a field uniform-like thing. But this isn't like the U.S. Army's uniform or the Canadian Army's uniform or the uniform of the Azerbaijani army. This is just a standard khaki uniform tunic, and so you can get these and modify them in Germany, at least, in many online outdoor and army shops. And if you're looking for dress uniforms, you kind of have to use macronational uniforms. But if you get a macronational uniform, be sure to modify it enough. Use your own epaulets. Use your own medals, obviously, and insignias. Never wear a macronational uniform with any macronational insignia, because, for example, in Germany that is forbidden. So be mindful of local laws. You're not even allowed to wear this uniform-like clothing with I don't know about the uniform-like clothing, but if I was wearing like a Dutch uniform, I couldn't wear it with an American patch, flag patch, because that's illegal in Germany, because Germany is a land of useless bureaucracy. But there is, of course, also and then there's, of course, the next option, to make your own uniform for all of this, because a uniform is supposed to be, well, uniform. So make your uniform, and make your own set of uniforms. You decide, this on the right side, this is going to be my army's uniform. And the important thing here is then, if someone else joins your army within your micronation, don't tell them, get any uniform you want. Tell them to get that exact same uniform with fitting matching rank insignia. And you can see here the Molossian Naval Infantry, they're wearing the same uniform, so you can see, they belong together, they're from the same military. And if your micronational military shows up wearing a different set of colored uniforms, and each one looks completely different from the other, what's the purpose? What's the purpose? What's the use in that? So make sure your uniforms are uniform in the military branches. Or I guess it's possible to have different uniforms for the lower ranks and different uniforms for the upper ranks, but make sure not to have too many uniforms. It's okay, for example, in the Navy, the sailors' uniforms, they look different from the uniform an admiral will look wear, but make sure that the admiral and captains' uniforms don't look too different from one another. Um, make sure your uniform is uniform, as I was saying, and make sure it's affordable too. For the standard field uniform, because the standard field uniform is the most important one. That's it's not only because it's the most affordable one, but you know, in the end, that's probably what you're gonna be wearing the most in the field. So then that's why you also make sure it's affordable, so the members of your micronational military can actually afford to purchase purchase this uniform. For example, this costs about 20 euros or so, I think. So that's perfectly affordable. If you have a uniform of black pants, as you can see here, of dark blue pants even, might be even better, because lots of people have black pants, so then they might not even have to buy special pants, just a shirt. Also, get the same headgear. You can see, again, wearing the same headgear. Get the same hat, get the same cap, get the same helmet, just so you're not wearing a wide array of things. Of course, there are exceptions. For example, your president or your admiral can wear a different hat from the others, but make sure the others are wearing the same thing. You get my point. And now let's get to flags again. I would like to briefly discuss the different categories of flags you can have, because last time I talked about micronational flags, like the national flags. But there are different categories of flags. Just because you have a micronational flag, you have your national flag, doesn't mean you have to stop designing flags. I have more design ideas. I'd like this second design, but it wasn't accepted. What do I do with that design? Do I just throw it out of the window? No. You can use it for other things. You can see this image right here. It shows some of the flags of the United Kingdom. You can see the Union Jack, which is also the national flag, but here it's also it's the Jack flag. It's the flag that's flown at the jack staff of a ship, which is all the way at the front. And at the back of the ship, they are flying an ensign. And the Royal Navy, of course, uses a white ensign. Then it says reserve now. It's like for state vessels, I believe, in most Commonwealth countries, the blue ensign. That's flown at the back of state ships. And then for civilian ships, you have the red ensign. And then you have special pennants and stuff. The Royal Mail, George Cross, Admiralty, Pilot on Board flags. And you can do it like the British did. You can have a pattern, or you can have completely different flags. We have two examples here. This is the naval ensign of Russia, and if you know the Russian flag, you will notice this doesn't look anything like the Russian flag. So there's no relation between the two. That's also perfectly fine. And then the German flag, as a contrast, the German state service flag. This is not the naval ensign, but the naval ensign just has a swallowtail cut into this flag, but it's the same flag, basically. The German state service flag, it just has a coat of arms, not the national coat of arms, a state service coat of arms in the middle. But besides that, it's the same flag. So there are multiple ways to go about this. This is something a lot of German states do. Just take the civil flag and put the coat of arms in the middle, and then it's the state flag and state service flag. And as I just said, flags don't need to have the same basic pattern. As you can see here with the Adrian Empire, we have the state flag, and we have the civil flag, which you can see a relation. They're using the same colors, but they have completely different symbols. So this is fine. You can do this. You're the master of your own flag. And for each part of your nation, you can create a different flag. I have one example here. From Dictionary, you have the national flag. You have the state flag, which has the coat of arms in the middle, the lesser coat of arms. You have the naval flag, which looks similar to the national and state flags, but is different. You have the royal standard, which is the coat of arms with the shield of the archducal family in the middle. You have a provincial flag. This one is from Panagua, which looks completely different as well. And you have an organizational flag or a union flag. So yeah, you can create very different flags for all the different parts of your nation. Standards are also particularly important. I just touched on the standard of the Archduke of Dictionary, which you can see here again, because standards show who is in charge. You can have a standard for a president or a king which doesn't show that, like Obscurium does, but you can also show. You can also use your royal standard or presidential standard to show who is in charge. The French used to do it. This, I believe, was from Francois Mitterrand. Sorry for my horrible pronunciation of that French name, but you can see his initials FM here in the French flag in this as a square. So that was his presidential standard, and it shows this guy is in charge right now. With presidents, it might be a bit tedious because they keep changing with archdukes, kings, and emperors. It's easier, especially if you only have a family coat of arms in the center of the standard or in the standard at all. You can see here in the middle we have the again the shield of the archducal family, showing they are in charge of Ductionary. Multiple standards also can be used for the same person. This is from Woodlandia. You can see the royal standard, which is for official use. So if, I believe it's a principality, if the Prince of Woodlandia opens a supermarket in his capacity as prince, that's the flag he would use. And then if he is, I don't know, on vacation, he would probably use this personal standard. So even the same person can have different standards for different purposes, for official use and for private use. Don't quote me on that. I don't know enough about Woodlandia to tell what exactly they use these standards for. That was just an example. You can also have military flags, of course. Military flags are nice because they can be a bit more complicated, and they can even have wording on it, something that's big taboo in national flags and such. So you can bend the rules of flag design a lot with military flags. They don't really apply as much anymore, which is also a reason to expand your micronational flag raster within your micronation. If you want to bend or break the rules a little, make a military flag. They can be square, rectangular, or swallow-tailed. The German naval ensign is swallow-tailed. The Norwegian ensign is not only swallow-tailed, it's swallow-tailed with a little tongue. Here we have the flag of the Obscurian Moby. That's basically our parade force. And you can see it doesn't look anything like the Obscurian national flag either. And you have 4 flags from the Bavarian Democratic Republic. The Army, Navy, Air Force, and this is for the Defense Minister, Minister of Defense. So you can see all of them are related to one another in this case. They all look similar, but they all have their distinct symbolism. You can do that, or you can do it like Obscurium, where the naval ensign doesn't look anything like the national flag, and the national flag doesn't look anything like the parade flag. Oh yeah, this was one note on anthems. There was the service, I don't know if they're still offering them. I couldn't find it anywhere, but back then Dracul was offering this service called Micro Music, where you can have your national anthem, military march, a military song, or opera piece created for quite an affordable price. Now, I do believe they use AI to do this. I don't know for a fact. But yeah, it's an affordable way to get your national anthem made. If you have if you have a very specific song you want to use, if you made your own song, right? Then I believe this is the best way to go about it, because otherwise it's gonna cost you a fortune, like over €100. So this is much more affordable, and so I would recommend this if you want to have your own national anthem or military march or such realize, or patriotic song or whatever. My final points: create more flags, because I was talking about a lot of flags here. You can make this and that flags, but do bear in mind, only create flags when needed. Don't start after you watch this presentation. Don't run to your computer and start designing a flag for your Air Force, Navy, Rocket Force, and your different ministers if they don't exist. If you don't have an army or a navy, if you don't have a rocket force, what is the point in making a flag for that rocket force if it doesn't exist? And don't create an institution just to be able to make a flag for that. If you have an institution, an active institution, make a flag for it. But if you do make a flag, always have a physical flag to back up your digital flag designs, because flags aren't meant to be only digital. Flags are first and foremost meant to be flown in person, as you can see in this picture here. That's what flags are for. Flags are not meant to be there on a website and not be used anywhere else. And lastly, make up your own special flag variants. I gave you a lot of examples: military flags, standards, naval flags, merchant flags, state flags. But you can make your own special flag variants. You can make a flag for whatever. For the smallest thing, if you feel it's necessary, you can make a flag for anything. You can, heck, you see that in the picture. You see that the dam in the back. You can make a flag for the dam overseer's institution, or the dam overseers. You can make a pennant for the dam inspection boat. If there is such a thing, if you have a dam inspection boat, for example, make a flag for it. Why not? It's fun. But don't make flags for things that don't exist, and do try to have them physically printed as quickly as possible. That's also why it's good on a micronational level, to have simple flags. I'm not talking about 3 stripers or 2 stripers. That's too simple. But if you keep your flag simple enough, you might be able to create the flag without even having to have it printed. You can sew together yourself. Varonia, unfortunately, I don't have the flag right here. Well, I actually, as a matter of fact, if we go on the website of the Micro Euro Summit, you can see the flag of Varonia right here. So this flag actually exists physically, but not as a printed flag. Varonia actually made a physical version of this flag sewn together from old T-shirts, but it looks like this flag. It looks perfectly fine. It's a good flag design, I'd say. So that's one example of how to design your flag. This is not a free striper, but it's still a simple flag design you can sew together yourself. And there's of course also the micro flag archive. And after you create your flags, your national flags, your civil flags, and whatever flag you have, do contact the micro flag archive. I'll put a link to it in the description of this video. And send us your flag designs. And make sure to write down when you actually officially implemented that flag or coat of arms. So that was all from me, and I hope you had fun listening to this long but I feel important presentation on such things. And I hope I've given you some inspiration for your flag, uniform, or medal designs. I've been Zar Antonov of Obscurium, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.